Good afternoon, punters, and welcome to Spruikers. We're on the eve of the Caulfield Cup. Well, not quite the eve, but the eve of the eve. Caulfield Cup.
We are.
It's exciting times. Good afternoon, Jake. How are you?
Good afternoon, Hugh. I'm very well, and you?
Yeah, excellent. Got a bit of a glow here today.
I do. It's nice and warm, Tags. That's why.
It's morning here, isn't it?
Yeah.
Beautiful Melbourne spring day.
And we're hoping
for another one. Hoping for another one on Saturday because we have 6 group races. Punters, which means 6 races to ply your trade in running. We had a couple of really good in-running stories on the weekend, particularly Lucky Secret, Jake. I hope you weren't on Lucky Secret at $1.01.
No, I did like his chances, particularly halfway down the straight when he was about 7 in front.
I think there were quite a few punters.
Got the wobbles, didn't he?
Got the speed wobbles. He was under it such a tight hold as well. He looked home.
Yeah, he did. But that just goes to show that it epitomises the beauty of in-running betting, Tags, especially if you laid him at that short price.
And every reason to do so at such a short quote. That is the minimum price, by the way. Verlander during that race was matched at about $11 or $12, I think, as well. So there is some value in running.
Swedish backhand.
Correct, for Verlander. But our attention should lie on, or in the Caulfield Cup this week, Jake. It's a classic cup, 18 runners, 11 of which I believe are Group 1 winners.
Is that right?
Yeah, with many multiple. Particularly Weekend Hussler, obviously. But a terrific field and 2,400 metres, a classic distance. This is what the punters thrive on, and this is what we turn up to the track for. Yeah,
exactly right. And if we can, it is one of the classic Caulfield Cups. I mean, we've had great winners in the past. Might and Power in '97 springs to mind as a 7-length winner. But this is so even, as you said, so many Group 1 winners, and 540 the field on Betfair. It's just a fabulous race. There'll be value everywhere, and that many chances. It's just great form, punting fun. It's great fun,
and we'll talk our way through some of the leading chances on Saturday. And we'll begin with Weekend Hussler, who's displaced Littorio at the top of the betting. He is now a $5.40 chance after drawing gate 11. He heads the market from Littorio at $6.40, Master O'Reilly last year's winner at $8.20, Guillotine at $14, Red Ruler at $17.50, Boundless $17.50, and the value just goes on and on and on.
Does it work?
Weekend Hussler, untried at the distance, a big weight for a 4-year-old in such a competitive race, and a notoriously rough race around Caulfield. You don't think it's beyond him, do you?
I don't think it's beyond him. I mean, he's a freak. So he's just such a champion. He's won 8 Group 1s in the past 12 months. You can't put anything past him. There are obviously many negatives when going through his form, Tags, but
there's not too many negatives in his form, really, is there? He's failed once.
Well, at 1.5 miles, I think there are. And like you said, it's a rough race. He's drawn 11. He needs to get a posse, and there's not a great distance they travel until they turn it around the sort of the 2,000 metre mark.
That's right.
So Brad Riddle's going to have a lot of work to do.
Where does he have to be at that turn? Or
he can't be any further than 3 wide, and he must have cover if he's 3 wide.
So 3 wide, $5 on the exchange. Would you be laying him?
Yeah, I probably would. I don't think that's great value for a horse who's untried at the distance and has never won further than 1,800 metres. And particularly with Littorio just inside him, Steve King can probably do a slight disservice to Brad Riddle if he really
could just
wants to.
keep him out there, couldn't he, and sort of box Riddle out.
But I know you're a big fan of Littorio, and why not after his sensational Turnbull win?
I certainly wasn't before the Turnbull, but he shook the bridesmaid tag at Flemington, and I think a lot has to be said for that. Winning form is good form.
No doubt.
Albeit the one on the bounce.
Yeah.
But he did look like he just really enjoyed the distance, whereas I don't think Weekend Hussler enjoyed it. In fact, I don't think if you go back 2 runs back to the 1,800, he was wagging the tail, and I don't think it looked really too promising then either.
Yeah.
And he beat Maldivian and Pompey Ruler, who was struggling. And Littorio, this I think looks to be his pet trip. 2,400. He's got a great turn of foot, and I'm not sure if the 3,200 is going to be his go. It might well be. He might just get better with distance, but he just looks really well placed on the weights.
He does,
and he's beaten Weekend Hussler his last start. So I'm leaning towards him at the moment, and at $6.40, I think for a last start Group 1 winner, I think that's pretty good value.
Yeah, well, I think it's valued the entire field. My only query over Littorio is Caulfield. I know. Yeah. Not so much in Caulfield Cups, but
it might be $2.50 less if it was going around at Flemington.
Yeah, I've got no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Had it been at Flemington, he'd be a fairly short favourite. But you can certainly make claims for Master O'Reilly, who was on Littorio's tail in the Turnbull. Guillotine's drawn wide, otherwise you have to give him a big chance. And I know you've heard from the stable that Zagreb is, if not the equal of Guillotine, then even a better chance, and he's drawn well inside him. So
he has drawn well, and I think you could perhaps forget his run at Flemington a couple of start back, where apparently he ate dirt.
Yeah, incredible, isn't it?
And just swallowed it.
But I also have an inkling that the 3 horses that ran in the capital over in Hastings in New Zealand, I think that's great form. Princess Cope, had she been in this field,
she'd start favourite, wouldn't she?
Just about, yeah. I like Boundless. She gets on the pace. She ran a beautiful race in the capital, and I think at $17.50 her current price is excellent each way value, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if she won, and if not, ran into the placings.
She's going to get a nice position as well from barrier 6. Yeah. She should get a nice trail into the race and get carted into the straight, and hopefully be in a winning position for you, Jake. You get a bit of value. The other two that were involved, Nom de Jeu and Red Ruler, who both look pretty good value as well, have drawn wide Nom de Jeu. And, I mean, terrible draw, really, gate 20.
It is.
He may as well be in the corporate suites, I reckon, in the car park.
He may as well be with us.
Well, he should be,
sitting on a champers.
Might do him the world of good.
I would have thought so, yeah. But he's also had a bout of travel sickness this week too, which I don't think will do him any advantage.
You want to have a blameless lead up, don't you?
Yeah.
Make sure you're cherry ripe
for
the race. Just once again, Weekend Hussler $5.40, Littorio $6.40, Master O'Reilly $8.12, Guillotine $14, and then Maldivian $20, Mad Rush $26, and Nom de Jeu, who we just mentioned, $28. There's some value about Giro Valley as well, who's the last start Group 1 winner at $19.50. Didn't beat much. It looked a weak Yalumba, didn't it?
Yeah, well, he ran second last year. You can't.
Danny O'Brien might be on the money again.
Exclude him at your peril tags, and Jimmy Winks is a good rider too.
I'm certainly not going to exclude him, and as I said before, there's another 5 group races for punters to get on the in-running product that work so well on Saturday. The trial continues, so punters beware when the market is suspended, when the gates open, it will be reformed by the punters out there, so make sure you're indeed watching. Jake, we'll talk cricket very briefly.
We shall.
The first test ended in a draw. To me, Australia looked like they were the better team in the first test. There was a lot of talk about India winning and perhaps playing more attacking cricket, and then Punter came out and he knocked that back, and then Saywags just half volleyed him back. And they all have, haven't they? How do you go over there?
Australia needs to take many wickets with the new pill, otherwise they're going to struggle. And I think Australia was advantaged by batting first in
agree with that.
The first test, and if they do so in Mohali again, that'll obviously increase their chances of winning. But I'd be laying Australia. I just don't like them over there. We don't have enough, key wicket takers.
And the lack of a quality spinner is perhaps our major flaw, isn't it, in the bowling attack?
Absolutely right. So I'd be
talk of going with the 5 seamers.
Is that right?
Well, talk.
Well, Stuart Clark's injured, so I don't think that'll happen.
They can't take him in.
Yeah.
It's a good betting match nonetheless. Australia $3.55, India $3.50. The draw $2.32. It's probably the first series that Australia haven't started favourite in for some time. Actually, I try and think back to when they might have started.
Would have been a long time ago.
Started underdogs. In the series betting for reference punters, $2.40 India, $3 Australia the win, and $3.70 the series draw. Who are you going to back in the cup?
I'm going to back Boundless each way, but I'll be very, very pleased if the Hustler wins. And isn't it good?
It'd be great. It's great for racing.
Norwegian wood, Taggy.
Norwegian wood, indeed. Littorio for me, and a little saver on Zagreb. I think he might run a pretty big race there. So good luck, happy punting. We'll see you again next week.